Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Jeff Stecker. I'm the Chief Communications Officer here at Syracuse University. Before we begin this morning's program, I acknowledge with respect the Onondaga Nation, fire keepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral lands Syracuse University now stands. This morning, members of our panel seated to my right will be joining us for some brief remarks. Followed by that, we will have some questions from our media guests. And so with that, at this time, I would like to welcome to the podium the 12th Chancellor and President of Syracuse University, Ken Severin.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this very exciting day, a day that's been in the making for quite some time. Before I begin, I want to recognize a few individuals who are here with us today and thank them, and that includes two members of Syracuse University's Board of Trustees, Pat Matino and Neil Gold, who joined us. It includes our mayor, Syracuse Mayor Ben Walsh, thank you for being here, our county executive, Ryan McMahon, and representatives of Governor Kathy Hochul, Congressman John Ketko, and Assembly members Bill Magnarelli and Pamela Hunter. This is a historic moment for Syracuse University, for our city, for our county, for Central New York. This dome is such a special place. From the outside, it's one of the most recognizable buildings in Syracuse and anywhere in sports. But what makes the dome truly special is everything that happens inside it. So much history has been made here, memorable sports moments, iconic performances, and a lot of really wonderful university traditions. The Dome is the home venue for 5 university athletic teams, something no other college facility like this can claim. But to our university community, the Dome is a lot more than just an athletic venue. For our students, this is where they begin their time at Syracuse at New Student Convocation. And like so many classes behind them, the Dome is also where they celebrate their graduation with their family and friends in the stands and on the floor. Recently, during COVID, the Dome became our testing center and our vaccination site. To accommodate social distancing, this became the largest college classroom in the United States during COVID. And throughout COVID, it also was the main rehearsal space, or a main rehearsal space, for all our programs in the performing arts. Equally special about what happens inside this building is how the Dome contributes to life beyond the university. For more than 40 years, the Dome has been a hub of activity for our community and a catalyst for economic impact. 935,000 visitors attend events at this Dome each year. It generates more than $240 million in income to the Central New York community. In January, it became the COVID testing center, a COVID testing center for the entire Central New York community during the Omicron surge. We host law enforcement training here, the New York State Marching Band Championships, high school football championships, and dozens of other high school athletic events and graduations. As we prepare to embark on the next era of the Dome, we are doing so with a great partner who is equally committed to this city and to this region. This morning, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing, for the very first time, the JMA Wireless Dome.
The Dome, a unique place to play. It electrifies the players.
We're fortunate to have the most unique building in college basketball.
America's greatest fans are here. Look at this crowd. It's unbelievable.
One thing about our community here in Syracuse, we rock out.
There have been more championships won in the Dome than anywhere else in the country.
The Syracuse community always shows up. It truly is like no other.
I want to thank JMA Wireless's founder and CEO, John Mezzalingua. We are happy his wife, Kim, and all 4 of his children, Daniel, Christian, Catherine, and Caroline, are with us today. This Syracuse University JMA Wireless partnership is unique and different from other stadiums and other naming agreements. It's different because Syracuse University and JMA Wireless are both so deeply connected to this region. JMA has brought jobs to Clay and will soon open its new 5G campus in the Southside neighborhood of Syracuse. John's investment in our community and in its prosperity is inspiring and will have a lasting impact here. That is one of the many reasons why we're so proud of this partnership with JMA Wireless. I also want to thank Director of Athletics John Wildhack and Chief Campus Facilities Officer Pete Sala and Deputy General Counsel Gabe Nugent. Getting to this point has required a lot of hard work from them and all their teams. And for Coach Felicia Legette-Jack, who's with us today, this is your homecoming. This isn't the same dome you played in as a student athlete. We have a new scoreboard, a new roof, and that new roof, by the way, has your jersey hanging from the rafters. So we thought we'd bring you home with a new name, too. Finally, I want to thank the people of Syracuse and of Central New York. Our communities have never been more intertwined and aligned than they are right now. And this JMA Dome is as much a part of Syracuse and Central New York as it is a part of our campus. With JMA as our partner, the impact will continue to grow of this facility. With JMA as our partner, all the traditions we've come to relish will continue, and new history will be made here. With JMA as our partner, our campus community, our student athletes, and our fans can expect an experience unlike anything they've ever seen before, better and more wonderful. I thank you all for being here today as we mark this historic occasion, and it's my pleasure now to welcome JMA Wireless to the Orange family. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chancellor. I would now like to welcome to the podium the founder and CEO of JMA Wireless, John Mezzalingua.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor Severud. I first came to this site as a young child at the old Archibald Stadium when it was blowing, windy, with my father and uncles. And then when this building opened, it was such a thrill. I remember I was 13 years old. I saw the first game that was here, and it was unlike anything in college sports. And as I think back on what was going on at that time, the Dome was such a bold and innovative move by Syracuse University on two fronts. First, it created this iconic facility that we're all in and is known by everyone. But second, to name it and to partner with a great local company that was a world leader, that was manufacturing here, that was based here in this community. Those were two really unique things. And then what followed was just extraordinary. The 80s were amazing. It was the years that transformed Syracuse athletics. We were able to attract the best athletes, and it sparked the most winningest era across all of Syracuse sports. So as I stand here today, now 42 years later, there are so many parallels to that time. Syracuse can once again lead and change college athletics, but this time with the help of 5G technology. There's a revolution that's brewing in sports, and 5G is at the heart of it. Technological change is rewriting the rules of every industry, and the university that figures out how to use 5G to redefine its athletic programs will be at a different level than everyone else, because it's not just about speed, it's about being smarter. So if you can get data from multiple inputs and then in under 1,000th of a second, analyze it, and then model it through deep learning techniques, which we refer to as artificial intelligence, and then send it back to inform a coach instantaneously, who can then make the slightest of adjustments, that gives you a competitive edge, and that's what 5G makes possible. There will be new, powerful augmented reality sensors. There will be advanced coaching tools. There will be performance optimization tools that will help attract elite athletes and help Syracuse win. It really all comes down to the super fast communications that accelerates the learning curve of athletes. So think if you have incoming freshmen who could actually become experienced faster. So then they don't perform like a freshman. That is an advantage. Schools that figure out 5G technology can redefine competitiveness. College sports is absolutely out of control with all the money, the arms race of funds that are being raised and then spent in order to create an edge. And there needs to be a new way of competing. And technology is that great equalizer. And it's never been possible before now. This partnership will give the Dome the first and the most advanced 5G network of any collegiate stadium in the world, and it will be more powerful than most NFL stadiums. It will not only transform the experience of fans, players, and coaches, but it has the potential to supercharge the competitiveness of Syracuse University and create excellence at the level that we all expect. Few people know that a Syracuse company is the world leader in wireless technology, and in particular for stadiums. These are the most challenging environments, as I know that most people who come to games here appreciate, for network design, but it's what our team at JMA excels at. And few people know that a Syracuse company built the network behind the first ever 5G Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium. I'm very happy to tell you that a Syracuse company will be bringing that same level of connectivity to, right here to the Dome. We also just built the first U.S.-owned 5G manufacturing facility, and it's just down the hill from here in downtown Syracuse. It's the beginning of a broader expansion for JMA in this area, and we hope to be seeing this as just the beginning of a revitalization of Central New York as a national tech hub. With this partnership, SU is pulling the future forward. It has chosen, once again, to be bold and to lead. And with that, my deepest thanks to Chancellor Severud, to the athletic director, John Wildhack, and to Pete Sala, who makes all of this come together. This is a true partnership, and I deeply appreciate that. We all bleed orange. We're all thrilled to be here and be part of this incredibly bright future that lies ahead for Syracuse University, JMA Wireless, and the JMA Dome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Now to our other John, our Director of Athletics, John Wildhack.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here with all of you today to celebrate this new, innovative, and groundbreaking partnership. I've been a member of the Orange community for over 4 decades. I've spent a lot of time in this building. In my senior year at Syracuse, I watched with awe and excitement as this building was being constructed. Like many of you, I have great memories as an alumnus and fan attending games with family and friends. Now I have the privilege of being the athletics director at a university and a community that my family and I love. The Chancellor and John talked a bit about what this building has meant to our campus and to our community. And I want to dovetail on what John said. I want to focus on what it means for the future of Syracuse athletics, specifically for our coaches and our current and future student athletes and our fans. A future that is exciting, bold, and is uniquely Syracuse. In my career, I've been fortunate to be in hundreds of sporting venues around the world. But there's nothing like walking into the Dome for a big game. The energy, the passion, the excitement, and anticipation. It's an atmosphere that it's not replicated anywhere else. It's one Orange community bonded together. That's an experience every young child, every athlete, every coach could only dream of. But here at Syracuse, It's a reality. With JMA Wireless as our partner, that experience will be unlike anything our fans and community have experienced before. It will become an important component in our recruiting and development of prospective and current student athletes. Today's announcement, combined with the upcoming renovations to the Dome, sends a very clear message about the future. Syracuse University is committed to its athletics program. We are committed to provide the best experience competitively and academically for our student athletes to compete successfully in the ACC and on a national level. The fact that a company like JMA Wireless, a leader in world-class technology, raised its hand and said, I want to be a part of the future of Syracuse athletics, ensures the Dome will continue to be one of the iconic venues in American sports, and its legacy will only grow. And for a high school student athlete deciding where they want to spend the next 4 years, they can be the next Mello, the next Zaire Franklin, the next Brittany Sykes, the next Gary Gate, the next Kayla Trainer. To our fans and to our community, what does this mean? It means the in-game experience will be elevated to a level that you've never seen. It means that you can send a text and a photo of a jaw-dropping dunk, a behind-the-back lacrosse goal, a parade of three-pointers, or a video in a tweet that you're pleased with Sean Tucker's latest performance. It will be seamless, it will be fast, and it will become the norm. We know that coming to the Dome is not about just watching a game, it's about families and friends making memories, and now you can share and amplify those memories. As we usher in the era of the JMA Dome, one thing is certain. The future for Syracuse athletics is bright. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. That was dunk, by the way, just to confirm. D-U-N-K, right. All right, well, I'm now going to invite to the podium an alumna of Syracuse University, the first female to have her jersey retired here at Syracuse University, and now the head coach of Syracuse University women's basketball, Felicia Legette-Jack.
Good morning. I always have these notes and I never look down at them because and then I'm like, why? I didn't say 47 different things. But to God be the glory. Today is a great day. I am so thrilled to stand before you. And first, I'd like to thank our chancellor and Mr. John. Man, I thank you so kindly for all that you guys stood for, believed in, and let come to fruition. And my boss right here, Mr. John Wildhack, who likes to drink on the job. I'm sorry. We can't do that, boss. We can't do that. And P. Sala, thank you for all that you guys do, and not just being our leaders, but also being our fans. I'm excited, but before I can talk about what the future's about, you got to kind of get nostalgic a little bit about what happened in the past. I played in the Dome about 7 or 8 times. And it just, you say, oh, it's just a dome. And then you get here, and then these lights, and it's big, and it's, oh, my goodness, I got to show my real game. And I tell you, for every 8 games or 6 or 8 games we played here, we won, and I got MVP. And then I remember sitting over in that corner over there, and I see this guy named Pearl Washington, and he weaved that shot at half court to beat Boston College, and he runs in the tunnel. Oh, I remember those days. I remember those dunks from Sherman Douglas to Derek Coleman. I remember those Gates guys that's coming behind that net. Yeah, they scored. They said, you can't do that anymore. That's too good. They had to pull those guys back 21 championships later. And you got to think about, you got to remember that those games, those football games that came here, the bowl after bowl after bowl, and you see Donovan McNabb. He's on that field and he's throwing up, and the coach is saying, "Get him out. He's sick." And he looks over at the coach and says, "In order for me to come out of this game, you're going to have to call the paramedics. I'm going to play this game to the last whistle blows, and we win the game." And it's just, you remember those times, and you remember that all the work that everyone did. And you also say, you know, we just did it because we loved Syracuse. We love the moment. We love the nostalgia that we are creating for the future. And so then they said, guess what? We're going to raise numbers. And that 44 went up, and it went up. And those men's basketball players that went first round in the draft. And then Mr. John Wildhack shows up and say, you know what about the women? And they decided to not just raise one number, but 2 and 3 women up in the rafters. And you say, wow, the past was great here. And then you're looking at the orange crystal ball, and you see a JMA say, hey, I want to join hands with you guys. I want to partner with you guys. I want to show you that we believe in what you've created. And then you say, okay, then let's look into the future. And you see Jim Boeheim goes out there and sign the 14th ranked recruiting class. And you can almost see the 35,000 fans just cheering them on and saying, go get them. They talked about us. It's our turn right now. And you can see this crazy lady named Coach Jack running out of the tunnel in her stilettos. I hope I'm not going to trip over those wires, because I'm coming live and exact. I'm ready to go. And you're going to see the Gates, Coach Gates say, you know what, last year, yeah, that was a step back for a setup for more champions to come. And you know what Coach Baber's doing. He's setting up for some real. I saw these guys at the mall. They were just shopping. It's like, I'm like, why everybody shopping for bowling shoes? What's this all about? You want hundreds? I mean, hundreds? Oh, I see what you're doing. You're praying for future postseason play football. And I tell you one thing, we got the future right here. It starts tonight, 5 o'clock, when our women lacrosse team take on Northwestern. Oh, I smell a national championship right now. Our future is bright, and I'm so grateful JMA decided to join hands with us to take this thing even higher. When we were growing up, we thought we were at the highest peak of loving Orange. It's amazing to come back here with our incredible chancellor and his first wife and his wife, First Lady, to really take on something real special here. Our goal is to not just play and win. Our goal is not just to represent, Syracuse and our great community. Our goal is to make this world to notice that we are alive and we are great. Our ability to play hasn't been shown really where it needs to be. We're coming, and we're putting you on notice right now. We are ready to go, and all I can say is we fight on. Go Orange.
Finally, and Pete, I'm sorry, in the vein of tough acts to follow, I'd like to introduce Syracuse's Chief Campus Facilities Officer, Pete Solomon.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Jeff. And first of all, thank you, John, for all you do for the university, and Chancellor Severud and John Wildhack and Felicia, thanks a lot for that. I don't know how I'm going to follow that when John Mezzalingo leaned over and said, good luck, Pete, as I walked up here. But listen, I'll be brief. What a day. So much of my life's been spent right here in this building. I've seen everything that's happened in this dome, big and small, exciting, heartbreaking, thrilling, historic. When we first opened the doors of this building in 1980, I don't think any of us imagined how special, how sacred, how iconic this venue would become. It's only appropriate that we prepare to embark on the next era in life of the Dome. We do it with a company that will catapult us into the future. What JMA accomplished with what they did at SoFi Stadium, and we spent some time there in the fall, and it is just absolutely amazing. That has never been done before. That facility, thanks to JMA, is one of, if not the most high-tech stadium, cutting-edge athletics and entertainment venue in the country, and we're going to be better than that. We are going to be better than that, better than what the stadium was that hosted the Super Bowl. As John said, our fans expect a 21st century experience always and in all ways when they attend an event here, and the technology, digital network, and cell service play such a significant role in achieving that. We've completed a huge transformation here over the last couple of years. And because of that, we have a more competitive venue, and we've seen more satisfied patrons, more concerts adding us to their tour stop. With our new digital infrastructure combined with a complete reseating and construction of the new event facility, the JMA Dome is going to be a premier destination in central New York. Our team is gearing up for this exciting work. As I've said before, we have the best campus community, the best fans. Our ultimate goal is to give them the best experience possible every time they step foot in the JMA Dome. Whether it be for a basketball game, a football game, a lacrosse game, commencement, concert, or even the Monster Jam event, our patrons only remember their last experience. So it's up to us to make sure that is a top-notch experience. Thank you, everyone who made today a reality, and thank you especially to all the individuals who make doing what we do worth it. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to open up to some questions from our friends in the media. We do have 2 microphones over here flanking the seats. We're using the microphone so everyone can hear you. So what I'd ask is you share your name, the media organization you represent, and then proceed with your question. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tegan. I'm with Sports Illustrated. I was wondering how long this deal has been in the works.
We're not going to discuss the actual nature of the deal today or anything around specifics with the deal. Next question.
Hey guys, Tommy Sladek with CNY Central. I'm just curious about the implementing of the 5G technology and what that process is going to look like in a finish date, if we have one.
We have spent some time already with the full design. A normal stadium takes about 9 to 10 months to actually install the kind of technology that we're going to be putting in here. This, we hope, is going to go a lot quicker because we have a starting time in August. So we're working as we speak to try to beat supply chain issues. But we have a robust design, and it's typically a long process. But having done several hundred of these stadiums, we have it fairly well down, so we know where we can compress. And the university's been terrific and just working with us to make that time frame in the early fall a reality. So that's a high-level overview of what we've got going on.
Yes. Chris Carlson from Syracuse.com. I'm not sure who this is directed to, but there's obviously a good portion of taxpayer money involved. Does that pay for the wireless install? Is that portion coming out of the public money?
These are separate deals. The naming agreement.
Right. But
correct.
The JMA is going to install wireless in the building. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you're paying with taxpayer money. That's just what I'm trying to.
I don't know that we have clarity on exactly where the financial breakdown is. Chancellor, do you want to address that?
Well, I'll just say so far we spent well over $100 million renovating the dome with no taxpayer money whatsoever. I believe you're aware. The next phase, phase 2, has many parts to it, including the reseating of the entire dome and the building of an event facility in addition to the dome alongside it that will permit indoor tailgating and student activities all year round, as well as community activities. Part of the next phase is the wireless phase. We are receiving state support, for which we're very grateful to our state representatives, to Governor Hochul, to the legislature. That state support is only a portion of the new phase. So I think it's fair to say that that state support, while very much appreciated, will not cover all the cost even of the new facility, the new event facility for which we fundraised, or the reseating. But it is true that part of the next phase is the JMA wireless installation. So it's mostly a matter of which dollar you assign where, if that helps. So.
Just forgive my ignorance of sort of taxpayer money questions. I do sports usually. Does the money have to be broken down? Do you have to say we paid for this and this and this with the $20 million, or is it just here's a check for $20 million? Do what you want as long as it's in the building.
Chris, I think that's probably better answered with some other individuals, and they can give you some more clarity on that. Why don't we connect afterward?
Yeah. Brandon Roth, CNY Central. 2 questions. One, is there going to be some large sign or designation with JMA Wireless outside or inside the dome that we could expect to see?
So Brandon, we're working on that right now with the city, going through all the typical permitting processes and working with the Common Council and City Hall to understand what it is we're going to be able to do there. But we are working on signage that will be on the outside of the building for people to see.
And then second question might be for Chancellor. Economically, you said it's roughly $200 million that the Dome currently generates. Is there any estimate financially how much all of these upgrades could, much more financially they could bring in? Has there been an estimate potentially? How much could this bring into the community?
Yeah, so what I said is the current pretty careful estimate is to the region $240 million a year in activity because of this venue. But it's been because of this venue in its previous state. And in its previous state, it became increasingly challenging for events in particular and concerts not being air conditioned and the challenges with acoustics and with event space around it. We do think these improvements will make it one of the most attractive venues in the world for large crowds to attend, not just for sporting events, but for many types of competitions and for concert venues. And we do think the result of that is that $240 million is going to grow substantially. But I've learned to be very careful in making predictions about how much additional revenue is going to come from a new investment, because what we like to do is exceed estimates here. And so far we have, and I suspect we will here. But very substantially more than $240 million a year into the region is what I would predict.
And Brandon, we can give you some specifics on that data later. Yes.
Hi again, Tegan, Sports Illustrated. So this is a 10-year partnership as compared to the in perpetuity deal with Carrier. Could you guys touch a little bit about why this is 10 years and what the next step would be once we hit that 10-year mark?
Chancellor?
So just want to remind Sports Illustrated that the naming deal for the Dome with Carrier was the first. It was an innovation by Syracuse University and Carrier. It was the first naming deal in a college venue in the world. And so, like most things that are first, we had no idea what was going to happen later on in the world. What happened later on in the world is that naming rights to venues became very valuable, and no one did them in perpetuity, okay? Because perpetuity, I've discovered, is a long time. 10 years seems like the right amount of time to establish a genuine partnership between these two great organizations. No doubt each of us will change over that period, and it's my fervent hope and expectation that 10 years from now we'll have the most successful partnership in the world, and we'll adjust it to the world as it stands in 2032, which I am very confident is going to involve a different chancellor at that point. Thank you.
Casey Honigbaum here with News Channel 9. I'm wondering, I know you talked a lot about the fan experience, concert experience. How is this 5G going to help the athletes on the field? What exactly is that going to look like?
John and John.
I think that this world is just beginning to see what 5G is all about. We as consumers are experiencing it, and we use it in the most simple and fundamental ways, which is to get service and download the things that we download every day. And it's just emerging how it's shifting and changing business. Every industry outside of college athletics, but every industry is being transformed by technology. And 5G is this mega trend that will just change everything and how we do it. There are the largest companies in the world that are participating in this: Amazon Web Services, the large leaders on the consumer side, Dell and Cisco, Microsoft. So when you have that much attention in the technology space, you have a lot of focus, you have a lot of talent that's streaming there, and there's a lot of examples in the utility industry It's how it's helping the digital divide. There's a lot of talk about autonomous vehicles and remote surgery. These seem like they're very far off. They may be, but we're in the very early innings of this. So as it comes to college athletics has actually lagged the development of using technology to advance itself and its overall competitiveness. And that's why I think this is so dramatic as what's happening here, because by availing itself of what is out there and then pushing the envelope to then drive the kind of change that can prepare athletes better, inform coaches better, deal with injuries, preventative, and then also faster rehabilitation. All of these are going to be different in a 5G ecosystem than it is today, because of not just the speeds, but then how you process the speeds. So because we are in the very early innings, and because a lot of these things are going to be frankly proprietary to those who develop them early on, there's not a lot of discussion that's going to happen until after they really evolve and roll out. So a little overview. Thanks.
Chris.
John Wildhack, I know we've bugged you way too much about the financial arms race recently. Does the money from the naming rights deal go towards athletics, or will it go to a general university fund?
Chancellor, you want to take that?
So we're investing heavily in athletics and the stadium, and this is going to benefit both.
One more question. I think we're done. All right, great. Well, listen, thank you everybody for coming today to the new JMA Wireless Dome. We appreciate your presence here, and as always, go Orange.